Hey there, everybody. Let's pull up a chair and have a little conversation. 2025 is drawing to a close. It is the next to last day of the year, and we are on the precipice of closing out one chapter and opening up another chapter. Now, some of you may have taken this year in the beginning as something like an opportunity to do great things. And as the year went on, one blow after another just came at you hard and knocked you on your butt. Maybe this wasn't the only year that happened. Maybe there have been other years in your life. In fact, I'm betting if you're at least in your 40s, you've had a few years like that. I know what it's like to live through that. Like, you can be going along thinking everything's well, and boom, a health problem comes up for yourself or for a loved one, and it just turns your world upside down. A job loss or an unexpected economic downturn might happen, and that might flip your world on its ear. You might be in a situation where you're going along, maybe in a relationship or even a more permanent marriage, and you think everything's fine, but that person suddenly lets you know, either by intention or by slipping up, that everything is really not fine. And that can just turn your world upside down. I know what each one of those things is like, and the problem is life will life, and we can't get around it. So what I wanted to do was put together something that will help you in those moments, in those times where you feel like, I had all of these big dreams and goals, and I thought when the year started I was going to do these big things, but by the time the end of the year is here, I'm not happy with where I am. Let me tell you something. Disappointments will come. Problems will come. But success is the ability to go from one failure to another without loss of enthusiasm. And I got that one from Winston Churchill. And darn it if it's not the truth. Those who succeed are the ones who are determined to keep going. The ones who fail are the ones who give in, who let all of the discouragements, all of the challenges, all the problems, all the failures just come together in one big ball of, I can't do this anymore, and just cause you to lay down and give up. There are some principles that you can apply in your life that will help you get past that. And in this course, from financial fizzle to financial fire, I am going to share with you the reasons why you should not give up and the things that you can do to reignite that fire if it's kind of fizzled out right now. So I want you to pay very close attention to what you're about to learn. You can watch the video, make sure that you do the action steps that are suggested along the way, but if you want to get the most out of this video, please go to my website and you will find the download for the free workbook. I will also put the link to the free workbook at the bottom of this video so you can actually go and download the workbook. It will give you spaces to check off things as you complete action steps, and it will tell you step by step what to do. It'll also have some extra material in it that won't be covered in these videos. Now, you might be familiar with some of these. I actually posted these as a year-end review series. However, I realized that there are some things that I could do to make this better and actually give you a cohesive, comprehensive course that will help you jumpstart your finances, reignite the fire if it's fizzled out, and help you set up the right foundation for success in 2026. So please pay attention. I'm about to do a little instruction for you before we get into the meat of this course. All right, so let's get started with the problem. We often find ourselves stuck in a situation because we've quit moving forward. Like, we just quit trying because life has dealt us so many blows until we just need to sit down and catch our breath. But the problem with that is when we give in and stop moving forward, we actually stop getting stronger. And every time we don't devote a day to getting better, we are actually getting weaker. There's actually a law that Sir Isaac Newton came up with that really illustrates it perfectly. And it's his first law of motion. And the first part of it says, an object, and we're going to take our object here, and we're going to call this your money ball, right? So an object in motion, right? Put the little motion symbols back there, will tend to stay in motion until it is acted upon by an outside force. So maybe you could illustrate this if you've ever seen an air hockey table, right? And the puck is sitting on a cushion of air and it's kind of just floating around. If you push it, it'll just keep moving until it hits the side walls and it'll stop. Or it hits the player's puck and it'll go in a different direction. That's an example of an object in motion tending to stay in motion unless and until it meets an outside force. What's an outside force for us? Sometimes that outside force can be a job loss. It can be a car breakdown. It can be a health emergency. It can be a relationship that goes up in flames. These are different things that can come at us and stand in the way of the motion of our money ball and just bring it to a grinding halt. Maybe you've experienced some of those discouragements this year. Or sometimes, maybe it's not just like a solid thing that happens, but maybe it's just the fact that, well, you're going along, your money ball's rolling along, and then it hits this speed bump. Yeah, you overspent this month, and then it hits this speed bump. And that's because, well, you decided to not save as much as you thought you were going to save, and that gets to be another discouragement. Maybe you're going along this month and your job is like, well, we got to let you go, or we're going to cut your hours or something like that, and over time it just grinds you down and it just chews you up. That brings your money ball rolling to a stop. Now, your money ball, now we're going to look at it from the second half of Isaac Newton's law of motion. And that is, an object at rest will tend to stay at rest unless it is acted upon by an outside force. So your money ball was rolling along, life came at you, you hit a brick wall, and boom, everything just stopped. You're making no progress. It is December, and it's the end of the year, and maybe your money ball has just come grinding to a stop. So now we're in the state of the second half of that first law, where an object at rest will tend to stay at rest unless and until it is acted upon by an outside force. Now, what will that outside force be that can get your money ball rolling again? It has to be some form of energy. And that energy has to come from you. This is you, right here, right? And when you realize that it's up to you to get things moving, then you become the force that acts upon your money ball and gets things rolling again. So you start pushing and you start pushing, and gradually it will start again with that forward momentum. Now, the thing is when you're discouraged, when it feels like your money ball's stuck because the fire that was burning in you has fizzled out, what are the things that you can do to get it rolling again? Well, I am going to go into that in this course. There are 10 things that you can do to get your money ball rolling again, to set you up for financial success rolling into 2026. And we're going to go through each one of those things, and you're going to have some action steps at each break, at each money move that you will need to complete in order to make this work for you. Now, you can follow the prompts on the screen of this video, but if you want to get the most out of it, you're going to want to download the workbook. And I'm including the workbook in the comments at the bottom of this video where you see this on YouTube, and you can actually go there, download the workbook, and have it so you can get the very most out of this course. You don't have to do it, but look, if you want to go through life half-assing your way through, then that's why you're going to continue to get the same thing that you've continued to get up to this point. If you want to be real with yourself, as they say nowadays, if I'm being honest, you haven't put everything into it that you need to put into it to make it succeed. Or you've been putting everything into it, but it's just been the wrong thing, so you've been getting the wrong results. So how about this right now? How about we do something different? Try something different. Try the thing that has worked for me and millions of other people and all of the clients that I have worked with. Try this thing this time so that a year from now, you're not saying to yourself, man, I remember when Forrest came out with that From Financial Fizzle to Financial Fire course, and he gave it away for free, and he pleaded with me to actually go through it, and I didn't. I just kept doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And ladies and gentlemen, when you do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, what is that a definition of? Insanity. So, let's cut the insanity, let's cut the crap, let's get down to business, and let's get our ball rolling again so that it can roll into 2026 and we can see a new result, a new you, a new financial situation where you're accomplishing things and you're moving forward despite outside forces. Because let's keep in mind, there are outside forces that will come upon you. Like we said before, that's job loss. That's health setbacks. That's relationship problems. That's the economy. These are all outside forces, and that can be your brick wall that threatens to stop you. However, what really matters is not these outside forces, it's the inside ones. And the inside ones are inside you. And that is how you choose to react. So how do you choose to react when there's a problem? Do you just lay down and die? Do you flip out? Or do you stop, think about the different options available to you, and choose with intentionality to chart a better course? Life is going to happen. Either you're just coming out of a crisis, or you're about to go into a crisis, or you're going through a crisis. It's just a matter of what season you're in. So you have to adapt yourself. As 7 of 9 would say, for all my Trekkies out there, you will adapt. Life will happen. You will adapt or you will die. So let's see how we can adapt, how we can reignite that financial fire and get the ball rolling for us. All right, that's all my talking for right now. Let's get into the first section of our course. A lot of you made resolutions about how this year was going to be, but maybe they didn't come true the way you thought because you didn't lay the right foundation at the end of 2024. Enough of that. Let's do it right again this time. So I'm going to kick off 3 things, because those who do not learn from the lessons of the past are doomed to repeat the mistakes again and again in the future. So number 1, I want you. Hi, Gen X fam. Welcome back, along with all those who want to learn from our wisdom. Hey, happy Monday. Today is the last full work week or full week from Sunday to Saturday that we'll have in the year 2025. A lot of you are in holiday mode. You're winding down. You're not trying to be serious about things, but I'd like to encourage you not to miss out on the value of taking some time to review 2025 and see what lessons you can learn from it. I have 10 things that I'd like to share with you this week that will help you to see key areas you need to pay attention to learn from, to make sure that you're not carrying the same mistakes into 2026. A lot of you made resolutions about how this year was going to be, but maybe they didn't come true the way you thought because you didn't lay the right foundation at the end of 2024. Enough of that. Let's do it right again this time. So I'm going to kick off 3 things, because those who do not learn from the lessons of the past are doomed to repeat the mistakes again and again in the future. So number 1, I want you to review your income and your spending. A lot of people, it's shocking how many people don't even know how much money they make. They think they make more than they actually do, or they think they make less than they actually do. Either way causes financial fog and problems. How can you plan your spending in your life if you don't even know how much money you make? So let's take a look at our last paycheck for the year and see what the sum total is of what our gross and our take home was. Also, take a look at your spending from month to month. Go back and look at those credit card statements, those checking account statements. See how your spending went. Were you on track? Were you spending more than you earned? If so, then you need to bring that down. Were you spending more? You earning more than you spent, and there's this gray area in between. What happened to that money? You need to find that out and fix it. Number 2, Review your recurring memberships and subscriptions. If you've got gym memberships or digital prescription memberships that you're not using, these are vampires that are leeching you. Look, if you haven't been to the gym, you ain't gonna suddenly wake up and start using it. Cut it. That's probably $600 or more a year you could be saving. Subscriptions like Netflix, Paramount, Disney, and the like, they're all small, but they add up each month. You could be spending $100 or more a month. That's $1,000 you could be blowing every year in stuff that you really don't use, or if you're using it too much because you're broke and you're vegging out in front of the TV, maybe you should be spending more time working on yourself and your financial goals rather than vegging out and letting yourself just roll into another year repeating the same broke as a joke life. So, make sure you review those things and make sure that there are things that you actually need and can use, or whether there's things that you need to cut out. Number 3, look at your insurance. This is the end of the year. This is the time when the actuaries tell the insurance companies, this is what we think our losses will be next year, so we need to raise rates by this much. I regularly review my insurance annually because I will jump in a heartbeat when I find a lower rate. Know that they are raising rates. Also know that in addition to auto insurance and homeowners, there are also going to be 20 million Americans who are impacted by the expiring ACA credits. That means those premiums are exploding. This might be a good time to shop around for a new healthcare provider. It also might be a good time, especially if you're an entrepreneur, to look into catastrophic policies where you accept a higher deductible in exchange for a much lower rate. For example, some people are spending $2,000 or more, or are projected to be spending that much going into next year. That's $24,000 a year on health insurance. What if you accepted a much smaller premium in exchange for a higher deductible, maybe as high as $5,000, and brought your insurance down to just a few $100s a month? I'll take that cost way under $10,000 as opposed to $24,000 any day of the year. So these are areas that you need to look at. If you need help with that, feel free to DM me. I'll be happy to set up some time to speak with you, or you can go to my website at Intentional Money Solutions and schedule time with me on my calendar. All right, guys, that's it for today. I'll be back with some more tips for tomorrow, these relating to how you need to button up your retirement accounts. I have always told you I prefer low fee index funds. That's what I use. And so today I'm going to actually show you how I have gained an advantage by doing that. So what you see on the screen right now is my 2025 year-to-date Roth IRA investment performance. I have heavily redacted it because you don't need to know how much I have in it. The only thing you need to see is how it performed. Hello and welcome back, Gen X fam, and all those who want to learn from our wisdom, to part 2 of my special series focusing around 10 critical money moves you need to make sure you pay attention to before the end of the year comes. So, what we're going to focus on today is tax advantage things. And I took some notes, so I just might refer to these so I don't want to miss anything. So number 1, the first thing you want to do is review your retirement contributions. That means that if you work for someone and you're part of their 401k, you want to make sure that in your review you've contributed at least up to what their matching percentage is. So if it's 3%, you want to do that. 4%, 5%, 6%. You want to make sure that you're contributing that amount of money toward your retirement 401k, because that's free money. They're matching you with that. You can't lose with that. Take the money that's on the table. Don't leave free money on the table. If you're self-employed like me, you want to make sure that you've maxed out your Roth or whatever individual account you may have. For instance, for me, I have a Roth. The limits for Roths for 2025 is $7,000 if you're 50. If you're under the age of 50, if you're 50 and above, you can do the catch-up amount of $8,000. So make sure that you're taking care of that amount. Savings account and your flex spend savings account. Now, there's crucial differences between both of them. Flex spend, here's the basic difference. Flex spend is that thing that you see people running around on their jobs asking HR, how much do I have in my flex spend account? And then they're running out and they're buying toothpaste, they're buying cough syrup and all of that stuff, because it's a use it or lose it thing. Your company actually owns it. You do not. So for 2025, the flex spend contribution limit was $3,300. So if you max that out or whatever you put in it, make sure that you use that, because it's a use it or lose it. If it expires, you lose those dollars. Now, there is a small carryover of $660 for this year, but you have to use that by March 31st. Anything over that, once December 31st comes, you've lost. And then if you haven't used that by March 31st of 2026, you've lost it. Now, the difference between the flex spend and the healthcare savings account is you get to carry over the healthcare savings account. It rolls over from year to year to year to year. And you can use it for any healthcare related expense, which means that if you haven't used it, then by the time you retire, what if you needed it for retirement home, for medical care, those types of things? You can use it for those things and a lot of other things. I don't have time to go into that. But if you're self-employed and you have that HSA, it must be connected to a high deductible insurance policy, which is usually a catastrophic policy. So you would have, like I say, a $5,000 deductible. You contribute up to that. Say your doctor's visits, you're pulling from that in the course of the year. The max on that for 2025 is $4,300 for a single person. It is $8,550 for a family. So if you want to max that out, make sure you make that contribution by December 31st. You don't want to miss out on that. It's pre-tax, it grows tax-free, you withdraw it tax-free. Beautiful thing. Now, third thing you want to do before the end of the year is review your investment performance. I've hit on this so many times. Make sure you don't have a dog for investments. Make sure that you're not paying excessive fees. Look at your statements. What is the percentage of the fees? Don't let your cousin Ricky or your uncle Bobby invest your money and just wring you dry with fees. 1% is not 1%. I told you, it's cumulative. Don't fall for that okie doke. I have always told you I prefer low fee index funds. That's what I use. And so today I'm going to actually show you how I have gained an advantage by doing that. So what you see on the screen right now is my 2025 year-to-date Roth IRA investment performance. I have heavily redacted it because you don't need to know how much I have in it. The only thing you need to see is how it performed. So you will see that the graph on it has actually trended upward the entire year, except for April. It tanked in April, but then it went back up and it performed. What was my end of year to date total investment performance? 18.42%. Listen to that again. Look at the red arrow. 18.42%. I didn't have to worry about whether I was going to buy this stock or sell that one, whatever. I just put the money on autopilot and let my Roth S&P 500 index fund take care of the rest. And I saw 18.42% gains. So, if you want similar performance, I can't promise that to you. But what I can show you is what I've done. Easy breezy, set it and forget it index fund got me 18.42%, tracking the S&P 500. You do what you want to do with that. All right, guys, that's it for today. Those are my 3 additional money moves that you want to make before the end of the year. Tune in tomorrow for the last set that I'm going to drop on you this week. All right, guys, you have a great day, an incredible week, and I'll see you again soon. Move number 9, set financial goals for 2026. Take a pen and paper, sit down somewhere, think about what you want in 2026. Is it a new home? Is it a new car? Travel, paying off debt, getting your savings up. This is how you do it. You write all of them down. First, identify them. Then we're going to do this to lock them into our brains. We're going to use the 3 W's. My 3 W's are the Hey there, Gen X fam, and those who want to learn from our wisdom. Welcome back to the 3rd part in my continuing series, 10 crucial money moves you need to make before December 31st. So let's jump right in to these strategic and tactical moves that I have left for you. Move number 7, make sure you're not leaving free money on the table. What do I mean by that? Well, a lot of us have gift cards. That's free money, and we haven't used it. Crack that sucker open and start using it. Maybe you have money that's laying around in the form of change in your house. Gather it all together, take it down to the store, dump it into the coin counter, and get that cash. Do something useful with it. Thirdly, states hold money. By law, companies can only hold your money for a certain amount of time. If they can't find you, then they have to turn it over to the state. If you go to missingmoney.com, that free site will, when you plug your name in, tell you what state may be holding money for you. Or you can go to your state's official website and do the same. Don't leave money laying on the table, guys. It's there for you. Come and get it. Spend it how you like, put it to good use, blow it, whatever the case may be, but just don't leave it on the table. Move number 8, review your savings buckets. Your emergency, your sinking, and your hill and valley. Your emergency fund needs to be at minimum $1,000. If you've gotten there, then take it up, make your next goal to be 1 month's worth of living expenses. Number 2, your sinking fund. Make sure you're using that to set aside money for known upcoming expenses so that when they come, it's not a big surprise because you know it comes the same time every year. Put your money aside, then it's not an emergency. Number 3, your Hill and Valley account. For entrepreneurs especially, we need this because our income does this. And when we make a whole bunch of extra money, we need to have a plan for it, put it into the sinking fund because our income will do this. And when it does that, we need money to draw from. We go to our Hill and Valley account. That's what it's there for. So review your savings accounts. Make sure all of them are performing the way they should and make tweaks where necessary. Move number 9, set financial goals for 2026. Take a pen and paper, sit down somewhere, think about what you want in 2026. Is it a new home? Is it a new car? Travel, paying off debt, getting your savings up. This is how you do it. You write all of them down. First, identify them. Then we're going to do this to lock them into our brains. We're going to use the 3 W's. My 3 W's are the what, the why, and the when. What is it? Write it out in detail. What does it look like? Number 2, the why. Why do you want it so badly? Justify it in your mind. Paint the picture of how it will make your life and your family's life better. And then thirdly, put a deadline on it. What you don't put a deadline on doesn't get done. So the what, the why, and the when. Crucial things, boys and girls. Which brings us to our 10th money move, which around this one, everything revolves. And that is putting together an intentional spending plan with automatic money moves in it. What do I mean by that? Be intentional about your money. Put a plan in place. Assign a mission to every dollar at the beginning of the month, and then that way you're not wondering at the end of the month where it all went, or worse, in the middle of the month finding out that you've got too much month left at the end of your money. Being intentional, having an intentional spending plan squashes that. It lifts the fog, it makes you breathe easier, it removes anxiety to such a great extent, gives you margin, gives you a feeling of control. Don't miss out on those things. Get on an intentional spending plan. How do you make that work? Well, use my 70-10-10-10 guideline. Run your life on 70% of your net take home. That is everything all in, including minimum payments on your debts. The other 30% is in 3 sets of 10. 10% to savings, 10% to investments, 10% to your debt snowball to accelerate debt repayment. If you follow these 10 guidelines I gave you, do these 10 things now, you will set yourself up for incredible control and prosperity in 2026. Don't be that person who a year from now thinks to yourself, man, I remember Forrest gave these 10 moves to make at the end of the year to set myself up for success. I didn't do it, and I'm still stuck where I was before. Don't be that person. Use what I gave you, put it into practice, and I promise you it will make an incredible difference in your life. Congratulations on making it this far in the course. You have now reviewed all the 10 action money moves you can make to lay a firm foundation for getting your money ball rolling again in 2026, for igniting that financial fire and keeping it burning throughout the whole year. Now, one of the goals that you may have included in your list of goals is getting debt free. That is an important aspect of any healthy financial program. Getting rid of debt frees you physically because you don't feel anxiety. It frees you emotionally because you can actually be more at ease. It frees you mentally because you now have the margin to think about what can I do to enjoy life or improve my life, rather than just what do I have to do to get this money to pay this bill. It can grind you down. So it's very important to have a proven debt repayment program in your life, and I support the debt snowball, which has worked for millions. It's worked for me, and it's worked for the people that I've actually coached. So I'm going to take some time to break it down so you understand just how your debt snowball works. And I'm going to do this by means of illustration. So when you're thinking about your total debt, you're going to take everything that you have and you're going to list it all out. from smallest to largest. So this is what that might look like to you. Maybe it's your Visa card. That has a balance of $1,500 on it. Then maybe you have an American Express that has a balance of $3,400 on it. Maybe you borrowed some money from mom and dad, and that's $5,000. Next, maybe you have a car loan, and that outstanding balance is, let's say, $12,000. Maybe the next thing on the list is student loans. And that has a balance of $22,000 on it. Okay. So let's just make up some payments on this. Say you've laid everything out. You know what your debts are. This is just an example. I guarantee you I had a lot more debts than this. And you probably do too. So say the minimum payment on this is $30, which if you pay that, you'll be in debt forever. Let's say the minimum payment on this one is $45. Let's say the money you agreed to repay to your parents every month was $250. That's what you're going to pay them to get it back. Let's say the car loan, typical car loan, is between $500 and $600. So let's say that your car loan is $550. And let's say your monster student loan, the payment on that, maybe it's a little less actually. Maybe the payment on that one is $300 a month because you got a low interest loan. These don't matter. It's the balance that matters when it comes to lining up your debt snowball. We are not concerned with interest rate. That's a different program which shall not be mentioned. I'm talking about the one that I know works. And I'm going to tell you why it works when this is all done. So, previously, remember I told you that when you set up your budget, we just did this, you're going to take 10% of your take home and you're going to devote that toward your debt snowball. We know it's not an ideal circumstance in every case, but let's just say you're making the average $60K a year, which means that you're taking home roughly $4,000 a month. So what is 10% of $4,000, boys and girls? Mental math, $400. So now that's your debt snowball. That's your snowball amount which you have entered into your intentional spending plan. That's why we need to know this amount, because that is coming out of your take home. You're designating that towards your debt snowball. So you're going to take that 400 and add it to the first payment of 430. 30, which now gives you a total of $430 that you're paying toward this. So 4, 8, 12 in roughly 4 months, you're done with this first one. So now the $1,500, bye-bye, done, paid off. Now what are you going to do? You've been making minimum payments on all of these all along. So next thing you're going to do is you're going to take all of what you were paying on the first one. This 430 plus 45 is now $475. And you pound away at that one until it's gone. Bye-bye, baby. So now you got this $475 that you got to work with here. And you're going to add this to the $250. So now that takes you to 4, 5, 6, 650 plus 75. No, hold on a second. 475 plus 200 is 675 plus 50 is 725. So now you're able to pay $725 on this personal loan to mom and dad, and bang, you bang it out. So now you're getting stronger, you're feeling better, you're getting these early wins in, and that's what keeps you going. So now we're going to take our 725 and we're going to add 550 to it. So 7 plus 5 is 12. 50 and 25 is 1275, right? My math is right. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 plus 75 is 1275. 1275 every month to bang that car out. Now, you've been making payments all this time, so this is actually less now by the time you get to it. But now you're coming at it stronger. $1,275. Now, you end up paying that one off. Boom, it's gone. You got one more to go. But you got muscle now, because I'm going to tell you something else that happens. You've probably increased your income by this time. So you have extra money in your debt snowball. You don't just have $400. Maybe you got $500. But we're just going to say everything stays the same, right? So you're going to take the $1,275 now and add to that the minimum payment of $300 that you were making to the government. And that gives you $1,575 to pay there. So you were paying $300 before. Now all of a sudden it explodes to $1,575. All of this money has been rolling over, and that's why they call it a debt snowball, because the snowball gets bigger and bigger and bigger as it rolls down. So now at $1,575, you can be done with this in a year's time, and if you throw a little extra at it, you can get done even faster. So that, in a nutshell, is the debt snowball. You see the principle. Why it works is because it gives you the wins early on the smaller ones. Maybe even you might have a smaller one up here. Just say, suppose, maybe you got a little one here on one of these little tiny beginner credit cards, and that debt is $400, right? If you had your 10% of your $4,000, you bang that out right away in the first month. It's gone. So that's the power of the debt snowball. I hope you see it, you use it, you put into practice what you have learned in this workbook, because it is going to be a powerful thing to accelerate you through the new year and get you going. If during the course of this, you felt like, yeah, I like this, but I don't want to do this all alone, you don't have to. I have opened up something called Money Hero Academy. And in Money Hero Academy, you will get all the tools, all of the encouragement, all of the accountability, and all of the energy and wisdom that comes from a community of like-minded people who are moving forward in the same direction to accomplish the same goals you want to accomplish in 2026. So if you are sick and tired of getting the same results that you've already been getting, and you see the need to do something different because doing the same thing is not going to get you a different result, maybe the different thing you need to do is join me and others like you yearning for transformation, for real change in Money Hero Academy. If you want to join Money Hero Academy, all you have to do is follow the link that is displayed on the screen right now, and you will be able to get information on how to join Money Hero Academy. Alright guys, that's it for this course. I am so glad I was able to share it with you. I hope you benefited from it greatly, and you are able now to put together a firm foundation for 2026 to get your money ball rolling, reignite the fire in your financial engine, and blast into 2026 and keep going with a plan that works, so that at the end of 2026 it looks a whole lot different from the end of 2025. I'm always here to help you. You can contact me anytime by going to my website and booking free time with me. But if you really want to make real change, you want to get into Money Hero Academy. Alright guys, that's it. I wish you all the best in 2026. Remember, this is the year for the fix. If you need it, get that fix in 2026. I'll see you in Money Hero Academy.